Have you ever noticed how two people can want the same thing, but only one actually achieves it or actually changes their life? And it's not because intelligence, it's not because luck, it's not because effort, it's something deeper. Their paradigms. Not only is it their paradigms, it's their willingness to hold a clear goal on the screen of their mind, even when it's uncomfortable. In this video, we're going to be talking about cybernetics, the conscious, the subconscious mind, comfort zone, and the courage it's going to take to become what we think about. Because if we don't understand how we're programmed, we'll keep trying to change our results while staying the same internally. And as I will say over and over and over, as within, so without. As above, so below. So what is cybernetics? Cybernetics is the science of automatic control systems in both machines and living things. So think of your mind like a guidance system. Just like a thermostat regulates temperature, your subconscious mind regulates your behavior to match your internal program. So if we have a thermostat, everybody should have a thermostat in their house, and that bit set at 5. I'm in Texas. It's hot in the summertime. You leave the door open, that it's going up. It might go to 88. Close the door, and what's going to happen? This automatic system kicks in, and it's going to bring this temperature back down to 75. So to tie this in with our mind, that's how life can control us through the paradigm, right? Another way to look at this, think of an airplane. Flying, airplane. All the people on the plane, right? The plane, we're going from Houston to Chicago. We're going to Houston to Chi. The plane, once it gets in the air, it's pretty much on autopilot. Okay? So the plane, boom, it's flying. It's nowhere it's going. We hit some turbulence. The plane start going over here. The cybernetic system inside of that plane is automatically going to bring us back onto that plane, onto that path until we get to Chicago. Now, of course, this is going to happen a lot of times. Another way to look at this, we drive in a car. You hit cruise control, 75 miles per hour. We in Austin, Texas. It's hilly. We start going down the hill. The car is picking up speed, but we got an automatic system that's in control that's going to bring us right back to this speed. So, just like a thermostat regulates temperature, your subconscious mind regulates your behavior to match your internal program. Not your wishes, not your affirmations, your programming. You may consciously say, I want success, I want discipline, I want growth, but your internal paradigm is set to comfort, safety, and limitation, familiarity. So it's going to guide you right back to what feels normal. Even if normal, again, is limitation. Your conscious mind is the thinking mind. It reasons, it sets goals, it imagines possibilities. But your subconscious mind, this is the executor. This runs your habits, your emotional reaction, your self-image, your decision patterns, your comfort levels. The conscious mind can choose a destination, but the subconscious mind controls the direction of your daily actions. So you can sit here and say, I want these things, I want these things, I want this thing. It can choose a destination where I want to go. But your subconscious controls the directions. So think of this on the airplane. Your conscious mind, you could say, I want to go to Miami. But if the subconscious mind is programmed to take you to ATL, we're going to ATL. It don't matter what you think you want to do until you begin to identify what program is running your life. You're going wherever that program tells you to go. So if the program is set to Dallas, we're going to Dallas. So that means if you have a new goal, but your self-image is still old, your behavior is going to default to the past. This is why people set goals every year and still say the same. Every year, new year, new me. I'm in the gym this year. New year, new me. New year, new me. What, 7 days later? 7 days later. We'll try again next year. Well, that was fun while it lasted. Why? It's not because your big ass don't want to get in the gym. It's not because you don't want to be better, but it's because your paradigm hasn't changed. The automatic system hasn't changed. So we're going to get into the comfort zone and what happens. But here's the truth that most people avoid. Your comfort zone is not just what feels easy. Again, it's what feels familiar. Even if it's stress, it's overworking, it's procrastination, playing small, your subconscious prefers familiarity over potential. Not because the goal is wrong, but because the identity is familiar. What did we just say? You don't get what you want, you get what you are. This is why we preach be, do, have. But this is where courage kicks in. So we're going to talk about what happens when we go to leave our comfort zone. There's 4 things that's going to happen. Simplified. The first thing, IR. Initial resistance. Once we go to leave this comfort zone, you're going to face that fear. You're going to have that doubt, that worry. And we talked about this in a previous video. The law of polarity. You got the positive and you got the negative. Over here you have that fear, that doubt, that worry. But we know through conscious choice making, we can get over here. We can look at this as excitement rather than anxiety. Then number 2, we go to SA. Skill acquisition. We're like, damn, I can do this. I'm actually, I'm learning something. And we're tackling new challenges. Then what happens? Number 3, IG, internal growth. We start growing. We develop an increased resilience and confidence. The stuff that we were doing, we good at it now. We thought, okay, we good at it. And then what? Zone expansion. So we can look at it like this. This is your comfort zone right now. And what happens when we go to leave this? You're faced with this initial resistance. But what happens? You get over this. You get a little skill acquisition. Then you have internal growth. You grow a little bit. Until finally, your zone expands. And then what happens? You repeat this. You go to set a new goal. You go to do something new. You got to get out of that initial resistance. Repeat, repeat, repeat. And this is where it takes courage. This is where it takes courage. Y'all know Courage, the Cowardly Dog.
We interrupt this program to bring you Courage, the Cowardly Dog Show, starring Courage, the Cowardly Dog. Abandoned as a pup, he was found by Muriel, who lives in the middle of nowhere with her husband, Eustace Bay. But creepy stuff happens in nowhere. It's up to Courage to save his new home.
His ass was a coward and still had courage. He trying to tell us something. We scared, but we gonna do it anyways. We scared, but we gonna do it anyways. So, it don't take loud. It's not about loud courage. It's not about the motivational hype, but quiet courage within. In here, in your mind. You made a decision. I'm doing this. I don't care what anybody tells me. I don't care what obstacles are in my way. I'm having the courage. Because if you allow yourself to stay in this comfort zone, you're never going to grow. You're going to never grow. And we already said, if you're not growing, you're dying. Life is too short to be playing everything safe. But once we get the understanding of this stuff, we see why We've been programmed this way. And we can go right back to the educational system. It doesn't teach you much. Really, it don't teach you much. It don't teach you how to fail and be okay with that. It punishes you for failing. It punishes you for failing. So we can look at this and I just saw this actually. Shout out Robert Kiyosaki. He said this is how we measure intelligence. Up here, or this is the 4 states of intelligence. We got mental, we got emotional, we got spiritual, and we got physical. You see, we need to improve in all these areas. All these areas. We know that we're spiritual beings. We know that we're working from the higher to the lower. We need to get involved in this emotional process. We know that we have a mind. We know we have an intellect. And we know we live in this physical body. We need to start improving in all of these aspects. This is where it takes courage to leave this comfort zone, understanding these things. What I'm trying to do is raise our awareness. That's all I'm trying to do, raise the awareness. So when we have courage, we're holding that clearly defined goal on the screen of our mind without shrinking to match our current results. We don't want to look at the bank account today. Bank account says you got $20 to your name and you want to be $1 million man. You want to be this, you want to be that. You want to be able to take your whole family on vacation, pay for your friends. You want to drive that car. You want to have those clothes. You want to live that house. You can. Because if you can see it in your mind, surely it will come out here. This is a great book. This is a great book. Your Invisible Power. She quoted the Bible. Ask, believing you have already received, and you shall receive. This is not as difficult as it appears on the surface once you realize that everything has its origin in the mind, and that which you seek outwardly you already possess. No one can think a thought in the future. Remember this. We showed you. This is the past. This is the future. But what we have is going now. And this is where we're thinking now. We can't think about the future. That's where the anxiety comes from. But we think in the present tense. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have XYZ. Visualize, imagination, use your mind. God has gifted us with a mind. Unfortunately, we use it for, it's not going to work. I couldn't do that. No, not me. Okay. As within, so without. If you think, it's true. No one can think a thought in the future. Your thought of a thing constitutes its origin. Your thought of a thing constitutes its origin. Therefore, the thought form of the thing is already yours as soon as you think it. Now, your steady recognition of this thought possession causes the thought to concrete, to condense, to project itself, and to assume physical form. That's beautiful. Remember that the principles involved in being as we think in our heart are elucidated and revealed by the law. As you sow, so shall you reap. Remember that your freedom to choose just what you will think, just what thought possession you will affirm and claim, constitutes God's gift to you. It shows how First Cause has endowed every man with the power and ability to bring into his personal environment whatever he chooses. Cause and effect. Remember, we talked about this, the laws in the universe. Cause and effect The thought is the cause. The effect is what we get out here. If you plant an acorn, you get an oak. If you sow a grain of corn, you reap a stalk of many kernels of corn. You always get the manifestation of that which you consciously or unconsciously affirm and claim, habitually declare and accept, or in other words, as you sow. Therefore, sow the seeds of I am, I ought to do, I can do, I will do. Realize that because you are, you ought to do. That because you ought to do, you can do. That because you can do, you do. The manifestation of this truth, even in a small degree, gives you the undisputable understanding that dominion is your charter right. You are an heir of the first cause, endowed with all the power he has. God has given you everything. All is yours. And you know that all you have to do is to reach out your mental hand and take it. This is beautiful. Very short book, 80 pages. You got to get it. The courage to hold your clearly defined goal on the screen of your mind without shrinking it to match your current results. Because when you hold this clear mental image consistently, your attention changes, your decisions change, your habits begin to align, your internal thermostat is reset. We're turning it up to 80 degrees. But this is uncomfortable. We know it's uncomfortable. Why? Because this word, the program we've been given, growing up, we heard, you can't do it. You're not smart enough. You're not this enough. We listen to the radio, the news, social media. There's so much negativity in this world. People don't realize that they can consciously accept or reject this. So what do? It goes right to their subconscious mind. They just accept it. Oh, the world's going to doom? Huh. The world's going to doom. The economy's bad? The economy's bad. Don't think for themselves. God has gifted you a marvelous mind. Use it, right? So why is this happening? Because your current paradigm will try to pull you back to what is known. And what is known is comfort ship. Our doubts, William Shakespeare said it best. He said, our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. What do we just see here? People don't even try to get out the damn comfort zone because it's fearful, it's worry, it's doubt, it's anxiety. So going back, we become what we think about. When we say we become what we think about, it's not magically, I can think about being a millionaire, I'm a millionaire. No, it means something more practical. What you constantly and consistently think about shapes your focus. It directs your behavior, influences your standards, determines what opportunities you notice, and ultimately forms your identity. If you constantly think about limitations, why me, poor me, you unconsciously act in alignment with this stuff. You think about, oh, I can't do it. You already didn't X yourself out. If you constantly think about growth, discipline, and purpose, you begin making decisions that reflect that exactly, that internal vision. And we already saw this, but we're going to see this again. And we know that what's this? Our thoughts. This turns into our identity. What does this turn into? Action. Damn nose itch. Action gets our results. So we see here again, it starts in your mind. It starts in your thoughts. But it doesn't end here. It starts here. You need to do the action. You need to do the stuff that's uncomfortable. That's going to get us the results. You can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink it. How? How do I do it? We don't know how. I don't know what you want, and I don't know what you're going to have to do to get there. I just know you have to start here. Because if you never conceive it here, you're damn sure not conceiving it in this physical plane. We're moving from high to low. We're bringing thought power, creative power, into this physical plane. Not the other way around. We didn't ever see something and then think about how to make it. Nobody saw the whiteboard and said, how do I make a whiteboard? They had an image in their mind and they brought that to this physical plane. Letting go of comfort does not mean chaos. It's not going to automatically mean chaos. But that's what this comfort zone thinks. You think you have security. You think you have safety. It's familiar. But you're going to see, once you let go of this sense of control, you realize you're going to be a little uncomfortable. You realize you're going to have some intentional discomfort in the direction of growth. And this looks like acting before you feel ready. Remember I said you don't need all the lights to be green before you go. And it means holding the vision when the results are slow. We want heat from the fireplace, but we haven't put no wood in. You want to go to the gym one day and already be Popeye swole. You got to be patient because we studied the law of gender. There's an incubation period, a gestation period for everything, and we don't know how long it takes. But quitters never win, and winners never quit. So, reprogramming habits instead of chasing motivation. That's what this looks like. Reprogramming habits instead of chasing motivation. Motivation is going to fade, but a habit, it's going to stay there. And once you build a habit, remember, habitual behavior, and almost all of our behavior is habitual. We're building new habits, building new identity, because through the thought, we form these identities, which takes action, which gives us the results that we want. Motivation is emotional. Paradigms are structural. We're building systems. And structural change takes repetition, awareness, and courage. Repetition, repetition, repetition. That's how you even got here in the first place. So the real question is not necessarily who do I or what do I want. The real question is, who do I become to consistently move towards my goal? That's what success is. Continuously striving, working towards achieving the goal. The goal is the byproduct. You want a new car. Who do I have to become to get this new car? Because we already seen it here. It's already yours. The moment you see it here, once you then get emotionally involved with this, it's going to come to this physical plane.